Hi everyone, welcome to the first chapter of Fly's Masterclass, product Masterclass on how to build a referral program that delivers results. My name is Priya and I have with me Venkatesh, co-founder and CTO of Flyy, who's going to share everything you need to know in order to build a referral program on your own. So Venky, how about we start by talking about app marketing? So it's often said that app marketing is broken. So what is your take on this as a founder?
Often said, people don't know that app marketing is broken. Once they start doing it, and mostly it's about people who are new into the field. So I'll tell you, how I got into app marketing was because I could not find anybody to help me, grow our application. So the initial first application that I built was app browser, and it almost took about 2 years to get that ready. Reason being because of design delays, then development delays. We did not have good developers working for us. Then and even the developer was working, he would leave in between, and then we have to rehire. I had to work on the application. A lot of things happened. But once that app was ready, I thought, we'll just keep it on Play Store and then it will fly.
Yeah.
But after putting it on Play Store, hardly any downloads, like 20, nothing, right? And I was very new, was 22 years old, did not know anything about that space. And 2014, that was really, at that point in time, mobile apps, people were still debating about, is it going to be app only world? That was the kind of questions that people were asking. Is it going to be desktop, mobile? Now today, mobile app is a necessity, right?
Yes.
Any good people are, even Razorpay X. Yesterday I was looking at it. Razorpay as a payment gateway. It has a mobile application and fully functional. You can do anything and everything on Razorpay mobile app.
Yes.
Like for a payment gateway company. Just imagine the shift. But getting people to install your mobile app and getting them to use it, it's a different ballgame altogether. And that if someone comes through and you go to an agency, we decided to initially, okay, we don't know how to do, how to market this mobile app. So we decided we'll go ahead with an agency. We spoke to multiple agencies and everyone came to us and said, we'll give you this much of reach. We'll give you, they said, we'll do Twitter marketing, we'll do LinkedIn, nobody said, Twitter marketing, Facebook marketing, SEM, SEO, all of that. I said, okay, let's get started. What is how many number of users you will give me? They were talking about reach. They were talking about, impressions, not about the number of users.
Right.
And also, there was a problem at our side as well. We were thinking we need to get to probably 1 lakh users or 10,000 users. That was the number that we were looking for. The challenge when you look at those numbers, like 10,000, I need 10,000 installs.
So we're actually focusing on quantity.
Quantity, because we did not know what is the number that we should be looking at, and even product development, how to do product development. That idea of install, because I've built the product now, I not want millions of users to use it, because those are the kind of news you are listening to, that okay, this browser has so many users, millions of users, like UC browser and stuff like that. But you must look at, so our focus should have been getting the first 100 users. Getting that first 100 users is not really difficult. You need to look at 100 users, 1,000 users, and then see, what they are looking for, what features are they using. Talk to them, doing things that do not scale.
Right.
That is what we must have done at that point in time. But we were focused too much on getting that big number. We should have had all the, real, analytics tool like Web Engage, Mo Engage, and focused on these 100 or 1,000 user base. And try to re-engage them, see the retention in those numbers. When you go to that 10,000 number, your metrics are skewed. Everything is, everything gets distorted. You don't have a clear picture there. And that's where, that blueprint was never out there. Even today, I'm sure a lot of companies, I've seen a lot of companies doing that. They chasing scale, and when they say scale, they focus on, they don't have the, actual product market fit, and they just spend money on ads and then see that retention numbers going down. Day one retention, let's say 100 users have come today. Tomorrow only, probably less than 8 or 9 people come back into the application, and day 2 retention to leave about it. Day 30, no one can, very few companies have cracked that game, at least in India. And who has cracked that day, and whoever has done that, they're doing pretty well. And that's where, that missing blueprint, it's not broken. It's about the missing blueprint and actually focusing on that 100 users. So when you start, and then it's about, I'm talking about, people when they start, and then when you grow, it's another, set of process, set of jargons that come into the picture. When you keep growing, when you're like, 1 million user base, right, then it's all about, engaging the user. How do you engage you need to look at different avenues, right? So there is still, even now, there is no blueprint out there. Everyone who talks about it, they just, on a very high level, they speak. No in-depth knowledge or no in-depth, step-by-step process, which is very easy to, write it down. And there needs to be conviction. And I've seen a lot of people talking about marketing, app marketing in general, but I don't see a lot of conviction out there when they speak, right? But I can tell you that, okay, if you focus on 100 users today and you get your retention numbers to, 20%, D1 retention number, 20%, 25% or 30% for that matter, then you know what these guys are looking for. Exactly. And then it automatically, your channel, like from where should you acquire your users, it becomes very clear. You may not get people, Facebook may not be a good channel for you, but LinkedIn could become a very good channel, and LinkedIn organic reach is like, massive today, right? So that once you have figured out, what your user wants, that it becomes easier for you to market your application.
Absolutely. I think very rightly said, and I completely agree that, having those 100 users initially and nurturing them. So that's very important rather than trying to do, too many things. So thanks for, sharing that, Venky. But then since we're talking about app marketing, right, I want to know that, how you personally worked on the marketing. Like, how was your experience? Were there any specific challenges you faced? How did you get into marketing, basically?
Marketing, because, like I said, so we developed this product. Post that, there was no way for me to grow it. You go to an agency, we hired a lot of people. Like, okay, we hired somebody to run Google ads. They said, we'll run universal app install campaigns and then get you users. And then I worked with a lot of people in marketing, but nobody was able to give me the result that I wanted. And what the result that I wanted was actual users.
Correct.
Users, when I say users, it's not like, somebody installing the app and uninstalling it tomorrow or just keeping it in their phone. It's not my user. User is like app browser. Someone who is coming into app browser was an application with multiple apps in it, right? That was the whole idea, to bypass Play Store. Once you install app browser, at least 200 plus applications were there inside it. We did some SDK integration, we did API integration to have Uber and Ola in the same screen. We did API integration with them so that you don't have to have Uber app installed. And we were thinking like, every day 10 o'clock, I book a cab, or, whatever time you might book at 9:30. These are the information, those are very contextual. Yeah. So apps are basically, it could be a left screen wherein you have contextual cards over there. And then, just request a ride, you just have to confirm from your house to office, right? Okay. That contextual information, everything else is feeded in there. That was the idea of app browser to, move further. But to do that, we needed to get that information, that contextual information, who is using what. That I think we were not able to achieve. Hence, I started exploring a lot of, I started reading a lot of marketing books in general. And then overall, when I realized everyone talks about jargons, SEO, SEM, this social media marketing and stuff like that. But eventually, all boiled down to content. So when I looked at it, so I do not take up anything if I do not understand the basics of it. So marketing kya tha? Simple. It was content. People like people like something of value.
Yes.
It has to either educate them, entertain them, or there needs to be some quality, valuable information in it. That's when people will engage with that content.
Correct.
In the context of social media, I'm talking about. So even ads, for that matter, if an ad is good, people would see it. People won't skip that ad when there is a YouTube ad coming in. If they grab your attention the first first few seconds, you continue that ad instead of tapping on the skip button. So what is that you're looking at? That's content.
Yes.
Now I realized everything else can be done with machine learning and stuff like that. So I need to focus on the content. And content, when it comes to app marketing, what is your product itself?
Right.
So that's when I got into a really depth into what value can we provide to our users. And hence it took a lot of time and effort, but got into marketing. I had to do it myself eventually. And there was a guy who we hired, and he taught me a lot in terms of ASO, SEO. वो सब होने के बाद then Google ads वगैरह तो we buy, and it was just experiments. When he joined, post that I was just experimenting. We were spending like close to in 6 months we spent around 20 lakhs on Facebook ads, and there was a case study on Facebook that Ixigo was able to bring down the cost of their app cost per install to 4 rupees. I said I told this guy let's just we'll also bring it down to 4 rupees. If they have done it, why not we? So this Ashish Chopra, I think he used to create content for Ixigo. He was a VP of content marketing, and he wrote a book called Fast, Cheap and Viral. So in that book, I read how to really create viral content, and why would people react to your content. He shared a lot of information with that book. Then we created a bunch of videos for app browser, and we were able to reduce the cost per install to 5 rupees. It came down to 3 rupees for a brief period of time, 3 or 4 rupees. But then 5, 6 was the average that we brought it down to. However, then, once the user has come, how do we retain them? Yeah. So the basic problem or basic mistake that I made there was actually not focusing on that 100 users, and before that starting that spending ads on Facebook at that level. 3 lakhs a month is a lot of money. So we lost a lot of money there, because these users would come and revenue were not being generated at that level. And we never raised any VC round yet. Even today with Flyy, we have not raised a VC round. So we have to be very frugal with the way we spend. The 20 lakhs was a very luxury spend out there. But then, to learn, I had to do it. And then that's when, on content, I understood, okay, that's the game. Let's do it. And now we are there.
Okay. I think glad to know that you actually got into marketing, because that's how we get that amazing LinkedIn content from you, right? So I'm just glad that journey.
And it's like I write whatever happens. So it's like documenting.
Still, I mean, it has a role to play in that journey, right? So happy to know that. So coming back to the core, purpose of this product masterclass, right? Referral programs, referral marketing. So Venky, tell me this. Mostly people have this idea that, referral marketing or referral program for that matter should be the only user acquisition channel. So what are your thoughts on this? Is it true, or what do you suggest?
Rather than true or false, it's like, referral cannot happen on its own, right? First, you have to have a critical base of users that can actually, take you to the next level. You need to have user base. That 100 users that I'm talking about, right? That 100 users, once you have figured out that this is my product market fit, these are my target audience, ICP, ideal customer profile, or whatever people want call it these days. Once you know that this is my target audience, now you need to focus on that. There is a funnel that there's a book called Hacking Growth, right? It was written by Sean Ellis. No, I don't remember his name, but it's a very good book, and it has a funnel which says AARRR: acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and revenue, or interchangeable, right? So first you have to focus on acquiring user. Referral comes at the bottom of the chain. So why would people refer? Once they have seen value in your product, how do you get people who can see value in your product? Acquire through different channels. Once you have acquired that critical base, your product, if your product has a network effect like WhatsApp or LinkedIn for that matter, if inherently you can have network effect, which is like, for me to talk to you on WhatsApp, you have to join it. Correct. That's a critical, element, critical piece there. That's when, referral can become the only acquisition channel for you. Yeah. For WhatsApp and LinkedIn, it was the case. Mm-hmm. But for any other product like a loan application or a fintech application like, a Grow for that matter, for them to, actually, I need to see value in that product. Yeah. I can invest independent of me bringing in another user. Mm-hmm. So referral then becomes a big ask for the customer. Mm-hmm. And if you think you'll be, without providing any value, they'll start referring, that's a, no-brainer. You should not, that's like stupidity. Yeah. Referral can become one of the channel for your product acquisition, for your, as an acquisition channel. It should never be the only channel. I mean, that question that referral can be, or is it false or right or wrong, that I don't think, people who have been in the marketing space, they do not, or who have been in that space of, acquiring and growing their user base, they would never think that. But referral can become one of the major acquisition channel with the, at least, 50% less cost of acquisition. The CAC, cost of a customer acquisition, cost of acquiring a customer, that can be 50%. I've seen it being 50% for loan applications from other channels. They have 5% of the disbursal that they're doing, 5% of the value of disbursal that they're doing. That's the benchmark that they look at when they're acquiring from other channels. But from referrals, I've seen it at 1.8% to 2.7%, that 2.5%, that level. I have asked some of them to increase it so that your referral becomes very, people are more inclined to refer other people because of that monetary reward, right? So yeah, to summarize, referral can become one of your major acquisition channel, not the only channel. So you need to keep seeding that user base somehow. Yeah.
Understood. Okay. So, thanks so much for sharing that. That was insightful. But I wanted to know this because I'm pretty sure that the people who are watching this would want to know that, and coming from you and your expertise, that what are the top 3 parameters that, one should look at before launching a referral program? I mean, go to check marks.
3 parameter basic thing. One of the most of the people miss this one when they launch a referral program is visibility. If it is not visible, no one is going to use it. You cannot have it in the navigation drawer somewhere, hidden in the menu, and you thinking that, okay, referral is not working. That's one of the biggest mistake that I had done myself. Right. After, spending during app browser, we launched the referral program. We took almost 2 months to build that system in place. And then, and post that, I put it inside a navigation drawer. And it did not occur to me. It was such a simple, mistake that I need to make it visible for it to work. Exactly. That was the biggest mistake. And I see everyone doing it. Now, anyone who comes to us and says that, okay, tell me one simple thing that you can, or 1 or 2 things that we can improve about our existing referral program, I tell them it's not visible. Yeah. Like Dunzo, for example, yesterday I placed an order. And then, on the notification, it sent me, okay, now refer your friends to get your next order for something like that was there. That is visibility. Yeah. Any email communication that you're doing to your customer, let's say even, first transaction that happens, referral needs to be the primary thing. They need to know that there is a referral program out there. I can refer. Anyway, there is word of mouth. So referral, you need to look at it from the point of, you are equipping or you are using technology to accelerate word of mouth. Anyway, word of mouth, I can tell you, Priya, this particular application is really good. You must try it. If I like an application, I will tell you, right? But what if there is they keep telling me that, okay, there is a referral program. I keep seeing that it comes at the top of my mind whenever, before even thinking about, okay, whether I should, let's say, for example, small case. If I'm talking about small case, what is the advantage? I know the value added advantage that I'm getting by using small case. If at all they would have told me that there is a referral, I still don't know whether small case has a referral program or not. Right? Me being in referral, I would go and see, whether they have referrals so that I'll do it. Okay, it might have a referral program. Let me check. But if they would have communicated it, small case is a big company out there. Everyone knows about it. They've done so much advertisement. But think about applications, those who have just started or, very limited user base. For them, if you don't tell your user base that, that initial island of people, okay, there is a referral program for you, so that that island, the whole island can use our application. Okay, whatever I am using, I can spread it to everybody else. If that information is not there with the certain set of people, how will they interact with you, right? If I know, I'll say that, okay, use this app, use my referral code while you're doing it. A clear advantage. Now that brings me to the second point, the reward itself. You need to focus, you need to make it easier for me to, that first action. Let's say, for example, if it's a loan application, you should not reward me for just signing up. Someone signs up into the loan application, let's say, for example, Cashy. I invited you. I should not get, only on your OTP sign up, I should not get any reward. That's given. But what these people do is they take it to a very further point, wherein when the loan repayment comes back, then I will get rewarded. That will fail. I must be rewarded when the disbursal happens, which is a little late. But what I have seen is from the result of various fintech loan applications that it works. A critical base of users, like 10% of the disbursals are happening, not 10%, 5 to 6% of the disbursals are happening via referrals. So that critical piece, that action, that event, you can divide that event into two parts. If both the events are valuable to you, like in the case of a loan application, once disbursal happens, or second could be on repayment. So repayment can act as a trigger for you. Trigger for your referral. People are like me, I'm referring you. First time I got the reward when you took the loan. When you repay, that's when, I'll be reminded that, okay, I got another 400 rupees or something like that. That reward can be much higher. That, it actually covers two cases. One is visibility. Second one is your events, these two events, and the amount that you're rewarding. It needs to be substantial. You can't be like, I'll give you 100 rupees for that. You invite somebody and I get 100 rupees for inviting you to a loan application, which is really, it takes a lot of social capital out of me to refer you. But if I'm getting like 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees or 3,000, like Citibank credit card did, 3,000 rupees worth of reward on every credit card referral that converts. It worked really well for Citibank. And that's why, in fintech, a lot of people look up to Citibank when they talk about referrals, because that was a case study that was being around, amongst them. So three things: visibility, your, the event that you're rewarding for, and third one is the reward itself. Reward needs to be very valuable. Like in the case of Dropbox, for example, they gave that free storage. Initially, it was just 500 MB of storage, free storage that was being given. And it was way back in 2012 or 10, around that time. Storage was expensive, and cloud storage for critical base of users like, developers or, the techies. It started from Silicon Valley, right? They understood the importance of cloud storage, but themselves, having a system like Dropbox, wherein, you have a folder on your desktop, you put something there, it goes automatically to the cloud. It was such a simple application that they had built. There was strong word of mouth out there for them. But now Dropbox, when it wanted to grow, they saw that, $350 or some amount number, that was their cost of acquisition through paid channels. But there was a strong word of mouth out there amongst the community, right? Now, how do they grow? Organically, it was not it was not easy for them to grow. But word of mouth was there. How do you accelerate that word of mouth? So they decided, but then giving cash was not an option. Because for me, then, I'm converting herein, the value which is out there was that storage space for me.
Exactly, yeah.
So you need to look at that, aspect when you are looking to what to reward them with. It may not be cash. It could be something that I truly value.
Exactly.
In your application also, you must give me that particular thing. Rather than giving me anything, cash, definitely it works. But you get a lot of miscreants out of this, people who are like, just for the sake of referring, they come, for making money, they come into the system, they spoil your metrics.
Yeah.
So cash has to be used very carefully. In the case of fintech, it must be cash. The way you're giving the cash, it could be through, your wallet or, internal wallet. It may differ. But cash in the case of fintech works well.
Yes.
And then in the case of any other application, you need to look at the value. It could be something valuable inside your application itself. A subscription maybe. For example, an app. Yesterday I bought an app. Subscription of an app called Script to just, listen to audiobooks. That is like 300 rupees per month subscription. But if I refer you, I'll get 1 month free.
More like, how Cardfield also does it. You subscribe for the membership and you get more days.
Yes, those are the valuable aspects, but you need to critically think on that. How much, it should not be like Script is saying 1 month subscription, which is very valuable for me. Like 1 month, 30 days free, right? Now, if they would have said, I'll give you 3 days free, I wouldn't have been that excited to refer anybody.
Yeah.
I would be like, just buy it. Why? Yeah. So you need to think in that aspect. Yeah.
So yes, 3 takeaways from this. Absolutely, that the visibility, what event you are rewarding them on, and then
the
what
action
is
that the referee has to take.
Yes.
That is very important.
Yeah, and the reward itself. What you're going to reward, and you have to be very careful with that. So that's pretty much it, Venky. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. We have, arrived at the end of the chapter 1 of Masterclass. We'll be talking more about, in the next chapter on a topic such as how to create a referral flywheel. So we do have more coming from Venky. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for joining again.